Hey, everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. I am blessed to have a friend of the channel and a big supporter and defender of the Second Amendment in Texas here with us today. Before I jump into today's show, I want to thank, first off, the sponsor of Monday Morning. It's the Monday Morning Grind, brought to you by Blackout Coffee. You can check links in every description for every video. It's blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. And there's also a 10% off coupon down below. Your purchases there help support the channel a little bit, and they also have two brews of coffee for the channel, both the 2A blend and the 1776. Check them out. I just had one, so that's why I'm kind of wired. Also, check out my video I'll have floating above once you see this on the edit. It's the giveaway I'm doing with Big Daddy Unlimited for the Psyonix Aurora Black Night Vision camera that will be running through November 20th. And we'll be drawing the winner for that. So get in on that. That is a $600 camera that we are giving away for free. So get in while you can. And also, we're talking with GOA here. And anytime, actually in every video, I have a link for Gun Owners of America to join them. I always say support those who support you. Today is no different. You can join right down below with the link. It's gunowners.org. And I can actually put it on the screen. Check that out. Look at that. gunowners.org/gunsgadgets. I get nothing out of it. Not a nickel comes to me. What it does is it gives you a discount on joining no matter what membership you choose. I will be coming back to that later with Rachel. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the show Rachel Malone. You've seen her here before. She is the Texas director of Gun Owners of America. And rightfully so, she gets to gloat a little bit because they have just scored a huge victory against Michael Bloomberg and his Brewster's Millions. Rachel, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. And you're right. Even though the rest of the country may be looking at different results, and we are still looking at various lawsuits and things involving the presidential election, in Texas, the results are very clear, and Bloomberg lost despite spending millions and millions of dollars trying to flip the Texas House, trying to flip Chip Roy's seat. He didn't win. Texas didn't go for it. He does not own Texas.
That's awesome. Now, I've seen varying numbers. I've seen that he has spent $15 million on the Biden campaign in the last 2 months. And I've also seen he's spent somewhere in the area of $6.9 million on local elections, local seats. Could you maybe talk a little bit about what you saw on the ground, what his influence was with his groups, and what you guys and gals did in Texas to overcome that?
Absolutely. So this whole entire election season, I've had people contacting me in a panic saying, are you aware that Bloomberg is pouring millions of dollars into Texas? Are you aware of this phenomenon that he's trying to take Texas and he's targeting our districts? Both the candidates would tell me, our GOA endorsed candidates would tell me repeatedly, he sent these mailers into the district. And my members would contact me regularly throughout the election season, just letting me know that they're hearing from these gun control candidates. And frankly, we didn't know what the results were going to be, but we worked as hard as we possibly could. And we wanted to believe that Texas was not going to go for the gun control message. They weren't going to go for the Bloomberg gun sense, as they call it, of, hey, we are the answer, we are the solution to gun violence. And thankfully, they did not go for it. They didn't buy that. They voted with their gun rights. And at the end of the day, when the results were counted, the Texas House did not flip to gun control. Bloomberg had to flip at least 9 seats to flip it to being controlled by gun control, and did not even change the balance of power as far as the parties go. But what I'm more concerned about is not just parties, but how pro-gun is the House. And I'm so happy to tell you, Jared, the House is, I believe, far more pro-gun this year than it was last year, because not only did all of our incumbent endorsed candidates keep their seats, we also picked up 5 new freshmen of GOA endorsed candidates. And these are not just, running for a particular party that may or may not favor gun control or gun rights more. These are our endorsed candidates who ran on gun rights platforms, who were going there to promote constitutional carry, to end gun-free zones. And not only those 5 freshmen, but we also were able to flip 1 seat. That was Gina Kalani's seat in very liberal gun-grabbing Harris County. She took it last time from Mike Schofield. Well, this time around, we endorsed Mike Schofield. And Gina Kalani, who never missed a chance last session during the legislative session, she never missed a chance to go for those gun-grabbing policies and to promote gun control. she's out, and Mike Schofield took back that seat. So, just despite other potential harmful elections throughout the nation, at least here in Texas, we have the potential, we have the votes, we have the seats to be able to fight to restore gun rights. And I'm really hoping that the Texas legislature takes this as a mandate. The people of Texas don't want gun control. We want to restore our gun rights. It's time to take them back. It's time for constitutional carry, and it's time to end gun-free zones.
Yeah, absolutely. I just watching from afar, I was stunned, to be honest with you, stunned that you all did as well as you did. So I remember early on when Bloomberg targeted Texas and Arizona as two of his big flips this year, going after them the same way, the same blueprint he used for Virginia last election. And I was worried because he does really good in his ground game. And at the time when he announced it, they're claiming between Moms Demand Action and Everytown that they had over 300,000 volunteers on the ground in Texas already. Can you speak to that? Did you see an increased amount of his, I call it the anti-gun army? Have you seen an increased amount of that during the last 6 to 8 months? And just to give everybody an idea of how powerful grassroots is, if you did see an increase, let them know about how many people you were working with where you got this job done.
Right. So I definitely saw an increase on social media, building up their social media campaign, talking about anti-gun policies and really, really trying to message it like in a soft way to be more palatable to gun owners. I mean, I definitely saw that. So instead of talking about gun control, instead of talking about we're going to take your AR-15s, their messaging was very much along the lines of, gun safety. We want to promote gun safety and responsible gun ownership. Guys, I want to tell you, those are key words for gun control when you hear them from those organizations. Now, we believe in gun safety, but what we mean when we say that is keep your finger off the trigger till your sights are on the target, treat every gun as if it's loaded, be aware of your target, what's beyond it, and so forth. And that's not what they mean. What they mean is guns are very dangerous. Keep them locked up. You should never have access to your guns. So they were using all these buzzwords. We were hearing it all over the place. And I don't know how many they had for their ground game. I know some of them actually had policies where they weren't going to go out block walking and knock doors because of COVID. We did. Our volunteers did. We had some people, some very dedicated people, both making phone calls into districts, a lot of calls into Chip Roy's district and a couple others. We went and we walked in Lacey Hull's district. She was targeted heavily. She was outspent by several million, I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly, in the last reports. Just absolutely outspent by a gun control fanatic trying to turn the district for gun control. And she's a freshman because it was an open seat. The incumbent didn't run again. She made her election, and I'm so proud of all of our GOA volunteers who got out there, who knocked doors. We sweated, we got a little sore from all the walking, knocked the doors, talked to some people who didn't want to hear from us, talked to some people who definitely were excited to hear from us. And in the end, yes, the grassroots army is what will win the day for you. And we had enough people to turn out, and that's a huge thing I want everybody to take away from this. Whether it's in Texas or another state. Pick some election where you believe in the candidate. And I'm not saying you have to pick somebody in your district, but find somebody that you believe in them and you think they're a strong gun rights candidate. Go work for them. Make phone calls if you don't live in their area. Take a day trip and knock on some doors, knock out 50, 100 doors if you can. Team up with somebody in a day. Come back multiple weekends. That's what makes the difference in getting voters to turn out and vote for these gun owners' choice candidates. And at the end of the day, we had enough of those in Texas getting out the vote to win our seats.
That's awesome. That's something that I try to talk to a lot of folks, at least in my inner circles, during election time, because oftentimes the candidate you want is, like, say here in the People's Republic of Massachusetts, if we would like it's a pipe dream to have a pro-gun candidate elected in this state. Unfortunately, they're always going to be outspent, and the message in the party machine is always going to be against them. And I try to tell people that, obviously candidates need money to take out ad space and prints and stuff like that. But if you can't donate, then the biggest help you can do is actually donate your time. Like you said, go a couple blocks at a time, a couple days a week, and knock on doors. And that has oftentimes more of an assist than a $20 bill does.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, hats off to you and your volunteers, because you guys and gals definitely dodged a large bullet with Bloomberg, because he definitely outspent you.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. We did not outraise him. He spent so many more millions of dollars, and his allied gun control organizations were also donating and investing time. And at the end of the day, I'm so grateful that Texas is not owned by Bloomberg. We voted our guns. But here's the deal also. Texas has had a supposedly pro-gun legislature for years now, and Texas has been deemed untouchable in many of the previous elections. We still haven't passed constitutional carry. Texas still requires a permit to carry either open or concealed, unlike 31 other states. We're in the minority. We're behind the curve when it comes to gun carry freedoms. And whatever state you're in, you may be behind the curve too. And I think this should be a wake-up call to our Texas legislature, as well as other legislatures, other candidates who may be worried about losing their seats. People aren't necessarily buying the Bloomberg message. They're not, despite what social media looked like, they weren't turning that direction. The legislature needs to listen to this. I forgot to share this with you ahead of time. We have some interesting news also coming about our Texas speaker race that I could share. Okay. The Texas speaker has been somewhat of a source of much drama in the past few years. We've managed to kick out the past two speakers who did nothing good for constitutional carry, and were responsible, along with the majorities of the House and Senate and other leadership, in killing constitutional carry. This time around, Dade Phelan has the vote secured to be the presumptive speaker. He's released a list that shows he has enough votes, and that those votes will be cast by the members on January 12th. He's the author of the Constitutional Carry for Disasters bill that passed last time. Now, I'll be the first to say that bill was this much of what we need. It was very limited and didn't even really help us at all during the current COVID pandemic, which you could say is one of the biggest disasters. Didn't really do much. But he did help that, and it was a tremendous help. He authored that bill. He was a tremendous help in pushing through our suppressor freedom bill, which obviously doesn't repeal the federal laws, but would help Texas move forward with suppressor freedom. So we're very hopeful that he's going to continue working for gun rights and be open to letting constitutional carry come to the floor. And I'm not going to advocate for a speaker to pull strings and push his pet projects through. I just don't want a speaker to kill what's been his party priority, what's been a grassroots priority for so many years. I want to get a chance to get that legislation to the floor.
Absolutely. And one thing for the viewers that I will suggest that you do is, who won, who your new folks who are supposed to be representing you are. Now is the time to start reaching out. Let them know you want constitutional carry. Just as quickly as you help them get that job, you can take it away. So start the pressure now, because they absolutely need to hear from you. And they should be very grateful that you're reaching out, because you guys and gals are the reason they're there. So if folks are watching this right now, Rachel, and they want to reach out to their representatives, is there an easy way that you can drive them to? Do you know a website off the top of your head? Because if not, I will find it and put it down in the description.
Sure. So one that has a lot of information is texastribune.org/directory, texastribune.org/directory. And we'll double check that, and we can put it in the description as well. A lot of people come and say, well, that's a liberal website and they don't like gun rights. If they have good information, why not use it to promote gun rights? So that's what I do. And you can see both a picture and phone numbers and Capitol office phone numbers, district office phone numbers, and email addresses. Reach out to your state representative, reach out to your state senator. You may also need to do just a little bit of Googling to figure out if that person is still in office. They won't be updating the new legislature for a little bit. But y'all, if you have any trouble, if you're willing to reach out to your legislator and you can't find out who it is with a quick Google search, or you can't find contact info, please reach out to me. My email address, I'll give it to you a couple times. It's rachel.malone@gunowners.org. That's rachel.malone@gunowners.org. Please reach out to me if you need help. Jared is exactly right. The most common thing that I hear from legislators when I ask them to support constitutional carry is, I don't think my constituents support it. Most of the time, I think they're dead wrong because I've heard from their constituents, I've done the surveys, I've talked with the people in their district. But what that tells me is either number one, maybe they're not telling me the truth, or
Right.
most likely their constituents aren't talking to them. So you guys need to be talking to them. I don't want to hear that. I want to have them to have that excuse. You need to be talking to them. So when I go and push them on it, they can know their constituents want this.
Absolutely. And trust me, guys and gals, Rachel will find out. So make sure you
Oh, yeah.
do your part. I'll also put a link down below. And I assume Texas has. It's been a little while since I've been on the Texas state site, but most states have a find your representative. You can put in your area code, zip code
Yes.
combination. So I'll take care of that down below as well. So before we jump into a little bit more, you had a little giveaway that you wanted to talk about. Why don't you let the folks know?
Yeah, I've never done this before, but we love guns and gadgets. You know that. We're super excited. So I figured, why not? So for anyone who goes to your link, which is gunowners.org/gunsgadgets, and you sign up as a Patriot member, or you up your current membership to a Patriot member, which is a monthly recurring membership, I'm going to send you our GOA Texas t-shirt. I'll make sure you can see that there. It's GOA Gun Owners of America. And it's got the Alamo logo here. So our history of the Alamo, and on the back, let me see if I can turn and you can see it. See if we can make this happen.
There you go.
There we go.
It's
It's victory or death, no compromise. So no compromise is our GOA slogan. And victory or death is what William Barrett Travis wrote from the Alamo. It's his letter asking for reinforcements. It says he said, the enemy has demanded a surrender, but we will never surrender or retreat. Victory or death. And they fought for this because they believed in it. And that's why we fight legislatively for our rights as well, because we believe in it. And we know this is the way to protect our lives and to protect against tyranny. So if you sign up as a Patriot member, I will send you not only that t-shirt, but also our GOA Texas lapel pin, which is pretty cool looking. These are not available on our website. We will not mail them to you otherwise. They're only available at in-person Texas events. So this is the first time I've let people get them a different way. And the way to do this is, anytime during the month of November, if you sign up on Jared's link as a Patriot member, shoot me an email, forward your receipt to me with whatever address you want this to go to, and I'll send it to you. So again, my email address is rachel.malone@gunowners.org.
That's pretty cool. That's very nice of you. Trust me, guys and gals, I don't have that stuff. So good luck to you. That'll be awesome to get. So talk to more about, I want to give you I want to shine a light on you guys, because you guys kicked butt and you deserve the pat on the back. So the pat on the back. Are there any people that you want to maybe single out that they did a great assist to you, or anything you want to mention as far as happy people you're happy you defeated or something like that? The floor is yours.
Yeah, so sure. There are so many. If I started naming names, I would definitely leave somebody out. But just a couple that I'll pull out. I want to make sure everyone's aware of Felicia Bull. She's our deputy director here in Texas, and she handles so much of the load, whether it's social media. She's done so much of the organizing for these block walks. It's probably fair to say they wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have pulled off as many volunteers if Felicia hadn't done so much of the legwork on this. So shout out to Felicia. If you see her around either in person or on social media, make sure you give her all the kudos for all the work that she does day in and day out for gun rights. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to Chip Roy's campaign. That's Congressman Chip Roy. He's a congressman from Texas, but because he's in DC, that means wherever you are, his work for liberty benefits you. As long as you're in the U.S., he's one of the ones standing up, making statements in favor of gun rights, taking votes, forcing votes, making amendments, etc. Bloomberg definitely targeted his seat. They put Wendy Davis there, and Wendy Davis is pretty well known in Texas for her very anti-Constitution views, extremely anti-gun in all the ways. And, they championed her, and she was their darling, and she was going to just take over Chip's seat. Well, at the end of the day, Chip Roy won by more than twice of the percentage point margin of victory as he had last time. Awesome. He had around 52 percentage points, and she had 45, 46, something like that. So it was amazing. His team worked so hard, and we had several of our folks go down and walk regularly. I'll give a shout out to Wes Verdell. who's worked on several of our campaigns as well as running his own in the primary. And then he worked for somebody else in the primary runoff as a volunteer. And then he's been walking for Chip Roy regularly. He's our brand new Hill Country Regional Coordinator for GOA. So if you're in the Hill Country area of Texas, give him a shout out. But he worked very hard personally volunteering his time. And Ken and Teresa Cleghorn, I'm going to give them a shout out too. They worked very, very hard in the San Antonio region. But there are so many people just giving their time, giving what they can. And that's all I ask of anyone. Do what you can for liberty, for your gun rights.
That's awesome, because when people work together as a team with a common goal, things get done. And it was good to see. Like I said earlier to you, I was nervous for Texas. I honestly was, because he steamrolled Virginia while people weren't paying attention. And I'm glad that you were well ahead of the game and had a solid plan, because you guys pulled it off to perfection. I mean, you guys didn't lose a seat, so that was awesome.
We're very happy and we're very blessed. We're not taking it for granted. It doesn't mean we get to sit back now and say, oh, we won the seats. This is where the work starts. Now we have people in place who can author those bills and make the votes. And now we need to push for that to happen. So, wherever you are, don't forget that the work's not over post-election. No matter how the elections went, now's the time to forge forward, push forward, and advance those priorities.
Absolutely. And that led to my next question. I'm glad you said that, because this isn't the first time Bloomberg's targeted Texas. He did it 2 years ago. He did it 2 years before that. And each time he just puts a little bit more of his slush fund into it. So he'll be back at the next run around the midterms. So with that said, if somebody is interested in maybe jumping into the ring with you to help out, where can they go and how can they help?
Absolutely. So you're always welcome to reach out to me personally and ask to get plugged in. If you're on Facebook, definitely make sure that you've joined our GOA Texas Facebook group. You can just search GOA Texas and you'll see our nice little logo pull up, and you can join that group there. That's where we give action alerts. Definitely, please make sure you are on our email list. Like we've seen many social media platforms get deleted or shut down in various ways. We'll use it as long as we can, but we want to make sure we have your contact information apart from social media. So please make sure you are on our email list. You can go to gunowners.org and join just for emails if you're not already getting those. And then again, feel free to reach out to me anytime by email if you'd like to know how to plug in. Bottom line is we can use you. Your time, your talents, whatever you can give, we can use you to help in the fight for gun rights here in Texas.
Awesome, Rachel. Thank you so much for your time. My humble thank you for everything you do for the people in Texas. Who knows, maybe one day I'll be down there fighting with you, because I got to get out of this freaking state.
We got to play a barbecue waiting for you, Jared, and a Texas t-shirt.
It's funny. Every time we're supposed to be at the same spot to actually physically be in person together, something gets canceled. So hopefully the next one doesn't.
I know.
All right. Well, again, thank you for your time. I know how valuable it is, and you've earned a nice break. I hope you get to kick back and kick your feet up, but the fight starts again Monday. All right, guys and gals, thank you for your time. Check out Gun Owners of America. Check out GOA Texas. They are doing God's work, fighting back the evils that want to take our freedoms from us. And right now you're looking at one of the MVPs in the fight. So please join Gun Owners of America. The link is down below. Don't forget, if you do upgrade or join at the Patriot level membership, send a copy of your proof of purchase to Rachel, and you're going to get a cool little shirt and a tie tack from GOA Texas.
All right. Thank you so much, Jared. You're a rock star. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, my friend. All right, guys and gals, till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.